Well, hello everybody. So I'm experimenting a little bit with this. Hopefully you guys can see clearly. Broadcasting on 1080p. I can see the chats here. Hello, and Janask, I believe is how that's pronounced. Ooh, I love this. Thank you very much. Hopefully you're still around. I'm sorry for late start. Yeah, I'm not as strong as I was a few months ago, and so it's a little hard to manhandle the equipment around. Hey, Gwen, good to see you on. And thank you all for being willing to wait while I get things going. So yeah, I'm about 15 minutes late. Sorry about that. Alrighty. Let's see. I'll check something here real quick. And yep, okay. Rumble is going good. And okay, I'm in the right one here. Should also be going to Twitter. Looks like we got 3 people on YouTube. All right, well, let's get started. So before I get too far along, though, I would like to show you the finished project here. Let's see. I'll stay at a good focus level. But I think I got enough of this braid made. Though, 2 things I don't like about it. One, I don't think I did too horrible on the start, but I would like to have it more like I did here, where it's kind of tight all the way up. And I think I used too large of rings for the size I had here, but I was expecting it to be larger. So, oh, and backside looks like that. So I'm doing it over again with like double the number of fibers. So it should be wider. Yeah, let me throw things around. Sorry about that. I hope everybody's ears are okay. I did do a slight tweak to the color configuration. I think it'll look a bit better. So I think on the other one, depending on how things go, I know MLS Law wants a braid. I was talking about a tie. I'm thinking with that one, I might be able to make a decent bolo type tie with it. So if this one comes out the way I expect, this will be the one I donate to Ian's charity drive, so it can be auctioned off. And I will send it to Ian well in advance. Also, I happened to catch a little bit of Valhalla's birthday stream. I realized my birthday is coming up in about a month, so I think I'm going to try and have a panel birthday stream as well. I've extended some invites. I've gotten some positive responses. And not everybody who responded positively will necessarily be able to make it. I'll wait till it's much closer before I make up the stream and have the potential guest list there. But I'm looking forward to that. I think I'm going to run it out in the shop. Oops, I just realized I did not do the left side here, so I'm going to move these back real quick. Finish up the remaining portion of this here, which is 2, 3 over 4. Don't screw up the pattern this early on. That would be bad. There we go. Now I can slide these. And where I'm positioned with the monitor, I may not be able to see the chats right away. Thank you, Gwen. I appreciate that. That turned out great. And hey, Rayman YYC, good to see you on. Welcome, welcome. I've been watching you on Twitter. You have very incisive commentary and snappy comebacks. I like that. 1, 2, 3, under 3, over 4. So I put in a lot of time getting the other braid done. Sorry I didn't stream much of it, but I had to wait for the camera to come in. And then I had to figure out a few things. And then, of course, when I went to set it up today, I realized that the way I had the camera mounted on the boom wouldn't allow me to plug in the USB cable to run it. But it does look like this is a much better color balance. Apparently, the other camera I had is known for not having good color balance, having colors distorted. So probably a good thing that I went ahead and switched to this one. If you saw the picture I posted to the community tab, I managed to this has quite a bit larger actual physical lenses, which I'm hoping will translate into better quality for my streams. So can't quite get it far enough out to see the sides of the rails, but I'm doing what I can here. You can at least see the hand motion, so that's a plus. And yep. So I've got until Thursday to get this braid done. I've also been staying up way too late working on finishing off the other braid and getting it set up for this one here. So I am going to probably end about 9:30 to 10 o'clock Eastern time to be able to leave at a reasonable hour and spend a nice evening with Mrs. Torn. So, but after that, I think I will probably, I might actually quote unquote, or stream quote unquote on the clock the next couple of days since I'll be working on it here. I'm also currently using my cell phone's internet connection for the stream, so hopefully you guys won't have fade outs and robot sounds as the connection speed drops. The Wi-Fi I was using is the events Wi-Fi, and it's for event staff. I already cleared it with the people who run it, but if enough people are on it, that's probably why it was having issues. So I figured I'd just go ahead and use mine because I have more tethering bandwidth than I actually really need. So figured that was a good thing there. Ah, looks like I got a visitor. Hello, I am streaming.
Hello.
Oh, it's Mrs. Torn. So the camera is definitely working better.
Yay!
Yeah, I'm going to wait just a second here. And whoops, I did. No, that's. Oops, I did a mistake here. Fix that. I must have pulled from the top twice when didn't mean to. So this here, I believe. So that should be there. That's right. And so that one. Second the back one. This one's here. So 1, 2. Sorry, gotta unwind it a little bit, which isn't always the funnest thing to do, but it's better to do it now than go, whoops, I made a mistake. Arts don't care if you are embarrassed or not about making mistakes. They're just going to be wrong. Oops. It's also oh. 2, 3, 4. And there we go. Goes down there. And 1, 2, 4, 3. This top one here. Oops. Nope. Let's see. So yeah, that goes there. So let's try this one. Go back this way. Yep. Okay. Well, almost. So that one should be there. Or should it? Hold on to. Yep, I think I did. color chart. So outer rails. Okay, so it's 4 green and white on the bottom. Okay. So the white one goes on the bottom. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's that. Okay. And okay, so green, black. Right. So 1, 2, 3, and 3, 4. I get for rushing too fast. There. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. This one goes top here. All right. This side. 1, 2, 3, under 3, over 4. This one passes over here. And this one here, if everything is symmetrical the way it's supposed to be, it should be good to keep going. So we have 2 dark colors, light, and okay, yep, we are good to go. Let me catch up with chat real quick here. All right. Gwen saying hi to Rainman YYC. And Gwen says hello to Mrs. Torin.
Hi.
And Crystal says, hi all, happy Saturday. Good to see you on, Crystal. All right, let's get back to braiding here. All right, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. Okay, so yeah, I have until Thursday to get this braid done, and then I need to start breaking down the Taka-Dai for transport. I think I can do that, though I might spend a fair amount of time during the day while I'm up here working on it. And I'll probably take it back to camp a couple of times so I can work on it in the evenings as well. Being sociable, apparently combined with headache and the new medicine, I am coming across as angry with some people, which is not intentional, so I got to work on that. Not being angry isn't apparently sufficient. I need to make sure that the outside is reflecting of the inside. I don't need to develop a resting bastard face.
Your parents were never married. Sorry.
It's okay. And if people have ever met my parents, that is an extremely funny comment. It's hard to find people more devoted to each other. And I'm truly lucky to have been raised by them. So I did have to learn to be really, really, really stubborn just to be able to say no to my mom, not because she's manipulative or overbearing. It's because if she's just that nice and wants what's best for you, even if it's not necessarily what you think is best for you. All right, it is commissar time. And hopefully the computer fan noise isn't too bad. So if I'm going to run the birthday braiding stream, I think this a little bit more from the garage / shop. Should I be doing anything out there other than just chatting with people? 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. I've still got about a month to decide what I want to do for that. But I'd like it to be fun for all my guests too. I like the people. If I didn't like them, I wouldn't invite them. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. But the advantage of also having thicker fibers for this braid is that I will produce my length much faster than I did on the previous one. So it should not take as long to braid the same amount of length. Speaking of which, the smaller one was 5.5 feet long, which I think is entirely respectable. I did start out with about 8 feet. So it's probably not quite 40%, but it's in the ballpark. 2, 3, 4, 3. And 1, 2, 3. Oh, if Kathleen pops on or catches this on replay, I did say hi to Mad Mike for her. And Mrs. Torn was even kind enough to pick up some repair stuff he needed for his setup, so that was kind of her. And I owe her big for that.
It fit the car.
1, 2, 3, 4, 3. Yep. And 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4, under 3. Yep. Oh, for those that like Tug, he was going over some of the data transcripts that I was listening to prior to coming on stream, but I needed to drop out of that to stream myself. I have a much better time listening to Tug than some of the other people covering it because he doesn't seem to like absolutely loathe Nick with a screaming passion, so makes it less frustrating to listen to. Yeah, 3/4. Yep. And like I've said before, the situation there just kind of makes me sad. I hope it gets all resolved successfully. Right. And no, just doesn't want to unroll as easily. Catch up with chat again real quick. All right. And Gwen saying hi, Crystal. And Crystal says, hi, Mrs. Torn. Hope you and Mr. Torn are doing well. Torn, I missed the beginning. This is for personal growth or for someone. This one is going to be a donation braid for Ian Runkle to auction off for his Second Life charity work this near Christmas this year. Cookie Mon Steve was kind enough to win the bid on the last braid I sent him. So I want to send a nicer, well, not, I mean, a more complex, more work put into it braid so that we can raise more money for the charity. So that was what's the goal there. And Gwen says, does Mrs. Torren like to listen to you talk while you're streaming? You want to answer that? Or
Sometimes I just want to go to sleep.
Yeah, I try not to stream when she needs to sleep. 3, 4, but sometimes that happens. And Rayman YYC says, hey, Mrs. Torren, nice to hear from you.
Thank you.
And Crystal says, oh, that's nice of you. I love Drunkle's charity stream. Yeah, I caught it last year, and I think I caught it the year before, but I don't 100% remember. But it was very nice to, like, hey, I've got something that I can donate for the auctions and help them raise more money. So I'm hoping to improve on that this year. The previous braid I did is a little thinner than I was expecting, and I'm not as pleased with the buckle setup to use it as a belt. So since MLS Law has suggested very heavily that he would like braid from me, but he would like it as a tie type thing, and I screwed up again. Thinking that it's thin enough, I might be able to make him a nice bolo tie out of it. So it's back there. At least this should be easier to unbraid since I got a better idea of what I did wrong. pulled from the wrong layer here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, and yeah. So 1, 2, 4, 3. So this one should. This one. Nope, that doesn't either. Let's do the same one twice. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Top one should come down here. Yep, there we go. That's what I did wrong. And I think I unrolled that too far, so I'm going to re-roll that up a bit. Might have been the one that looked like I was having an issue unrolling it. Not. Yeah. And yep. Roll it just a little bit. As you can see, there's a fair number of fibers in here. I do have the light coming into the lens kind of on the reduced amount side, so that it's this one. Let's see, 1, 2, 4, 3. So that the white balance isn't like blowing out and it's so extra bright. So I should be able to be having to have less lights on while I'm streaming. It should be better for the temperature upstairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. That's looking good on this side now. So we are getting more of a good look at the pattern. So I'll do a close up before we end the stream so you guys can see what the pattern looks like up close. I think I did a little too short, but you can always unroll them some more if I run out of fiber. All right, so it looks good on both sides. Screwed up too much, at least not unrecoverably. A couple of these have like one loose thread that I might fix down the road with a little bit of super glue. All right, let me catch up real quick here. Let's see, I think I read this one, Crystal. Oh, that's nice of you. Love Runkle's charity stream. And Rayman YYC says, I predict that original torn braid will easily pull for high four figures. That would make me very happy that that much money would go for the charity for something I did. Thank you very much. And Gwen says, I'm trying to remember how much last year's braid went for. I know it was a lot. I believe it was $750. And I went to Cookie Monk Steve, who is a fairly regular in our chat, though I know he's been a little bit busy lately. And Harlan Remy is joining. Hello, everyone. I don't believe I've seen your name in the chat before, so welcome, welcome. If you've been watching before, it's good to have you active in the chat. And if this is your first time, welcome, welcome as well. If you have any questions, please ask them. I will do my best to answer. And Gwen says, please hit that like, thumbs up button, double check you're subscribed, and share this beautiful braid footage. Thank you very much, Gwen. You're always great at reminding people of that. And Gwen says, hello to Harlan Remy. All right. Let's keep on going. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. I have been catching up on my audiobooks while I've been braiding. I finished the second book in Dungeon Life. The third one doesn't come out until about winter, and it's going to be like about 30% longer than the first two. First two are about like 14 hours each. The first one was on sale recently. I don't know if it still is. Let's get a little bit of twistage here. If you like isekai or progression fantasy stories, it's really enjoyable. The content is fairly wholesome. The monsters tend to be other dungeons and not really people. And the people who are kind of mean in the story wind up kind of learning their lesson and improving. So it's Really wholesome. And 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. And it's a bit better than a lot of isekai progression fantasy type stories where it's really, really heavy on the game mechanics. They do go over it, but it's more about the main character having been a real world engineer, and he's got some interesting concepts and ideas of how the universe works relative to what most people in a roughly medieval level tech society know. So, highly recommend. 4.5 out of 5 stars. The narrator's pretty good too. Speaking of audible narrators and even stories, if you ever get a chance to listen to the Bobiverse series, they have a really good narrator and a really good storyline there with the author. Highly enjoy that one as well. And
Mrs. Torrin too on that one.
Yep, Mrs. Torrin likes them too. She's listened to them with me. All right. And hey, Rayman YYC gifted 1 membership. I appreciate that very much. It's very kind of you. And let me quickly jump over to YouTube Studio and see who got that, since I can't see it from StreamYard. And I got to be careful not to accidentally close the tab to StreamYard, because that would be very bad. Give me a second here, folks. YouTube Studio, and a second here. Let's go to the current stream. Live. I am live, so it should take me to the appropriate spot. And should be able to tell in just a second here, folks. And it looks like Harlan Remy was gifted the membership. And she responded, so I didn't even have to go to YouTube Studio. Sorry about that. Harlan says, thank you so much for the gifted membership. And Rayman YYC in a member chat says, great username makes Rayman YYC sad. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. And Gwen says, Rayman, your generosity is greatly appreciated. And all right, let's keep on braiding. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. There we go. Bobiverse series is the main character is a couple of jump pins here. Let me reset these back to where they're supposed to be. Hope I didn't actually go through any. If they go good, okay. And 1, 2, 3 over 4, number 3. Main character is a software development guy. Ooh. Looks like I had a possible knot here. Let me see if I can get this thing out, since I don't want to knot and finish braid. Or did that just from lifting it up? No, I don't feel a knot in here anymore, so I guess that was it. It was just one of those temporary curled up because of the twist of the thread. Anyway, he's a software engineer who just sold his software company, and he's at a science fiction convention. He buys a life insurance policy to
cryogenically freeze.
Yeah, cryogenically freeze himself if he is going to die. And then he wakes up, and it's about 100 years in the future, and there has been a very stupid government that took over America, and they are trying to use him as a artificial intelligence for a von Neumann probe to go out and colonize the universe. And he does it pretty good. They aren't able to get very many people who actually survive the process and are, able to do the job.
That aren't insane.
And after they send him out, once he's out of range, it's like, hey, heck with you guys. I'm going to go out on my own and do what I think is right, regardless of what you guys wanted. And it's his experience helping colonize the local area for humanity's benefit and interesting things that happen. And since he's a von Neumann probe, that means he's able to duplicate his
Matrix.
his matrix, his personality, his intelligence, basically him. And each generation, he seems to be becoming more and more different people. It's an interesting story. I think they're up to volume 5. It's going to be 5 or 6 volumes. The first 3 is a trilogy. The rest are kind of he had more ideas that he wanted to cover, so he's doing more books. Definitely highly recommend that one as well. And that also, I believe, gets a Mrs. Torrance seal of approval.
Oh, yeah.
You already did that. Yeah, you did. 2, 4, 3. Yeah, some of these, I think, when I've got some time and I'm not streaming, I might unroll them and kind of like retension just a little bit with a little bit of super glue. But they seem to be holding up pretty good. And the pattern's looking pretty good. Like I said, I did tweak it just a little bit between the last one and this one, and it looks more like I would like it to be. 2, 3, under 3, over 4. Yeah, when I was setting up some of the threads, the black ones had a lot more static electricity on them than the rest, so it was a little hard to get them all the same tension. And oops, that did not fit right, so I did something wrong there. Let's back down. Let's put this down here. Let's see. Okay. I did one too many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. Apparently, I'm not doing as well as I thought I was in regards to keeping track of where I was. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna have to work on that a bit more. So this one goes. Yep, it came back. It's supposed to. All right, so 1 and 2. Okay, that's where that is. And bottom there. So, okay. So that's right there. That's right there. All right, let's try this again. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. And 1, 2, 3, and 3, 4. Right, so this one, if it goes to right, yep, it did. I fixed that mistake. And 1, 2, under 3, over 4, under 3. And it should go through the right. All right, so that looks good. I think I need to do a little more. Take a reel. And I found a way to do this where I'm not having to rip so hard. Works pretty well. Yeah. But I do have my grip exerciser out here, and when I get home, I'm definitely going to be using the elliptical a lot more. I've noticed since I've started on the ADD meds, I am definitely eating less. So I'm pretty sure I'm losing weight. But I want to be careful not to mess things up. So I think I'm going to try and eat more protein in general, because I admit I have a tendency to go for like easy carbs when I want snacks. So try and switch over to doing more like nuts and things like that when I want a snack rather than candy or ice cream, which I admit ice cream is my big snack weakness. I try not to do it too much. Unfortunately, they have a really nice ice cream truck out here at the event, and they have good cones, decent flavors. They even have a one that Mrs. Storm likes, so we have occasionally gotten microphone together. Okay, we've done it once this event.
Once.
Yes. Once can be an occasion. We'll have to do it more than once, so that way I'm not a liar. And thank you, dear, for never doing the Carol Kane thing from Princess Bride, coming out and pointing your finger at me and going, liar, liar.
No, you just admit when you lie, so I don't have to.
I had a supervisor once that said that in the job I was in, fastest way to get fired was to lie about something. And if you take responsibility for something right up front, it really tends to take the wind out of the sails of people who are angry at you, because it's like, yeah, I screwed up. It's my fault. I need to fix it. Of course, you've got to be like serious about that. You can't just say that and then never do anything, because that only lasts about 2 times before people go, I see what you're doing there. And it's better than just lying about it, but saying you're going to do something and not doing it doesn't really help. Seems to be going a little bit better. I think I've gone about halfway through the pattern. And I do think the switching from the flat start selvage type thing has worked really well on this one. It's a little bit of distortion, but that's kind of from setting it up, and it's real hard to get out of that, or get it out of there at the begin with. There, at the beginning. But I do believe from other braids I've done, when it's had a chance and you're no longer braiding it and the tensions equalize out, it tends to settle down to a better look there. So I'm hoping we'll do that. Alrighty. There we go. Let me catch up with chat because I know it's been a little bit. See, Crystal says, Torn, have you experienced any issues with the StreamYard since it sold? EDB was having a lot of issues. I haven't noticed a lot of issues, but then again, I tend to stream to much smaller audiences than she does. And I don't do as much with StreamYard as I think she does. So I have had issues where it looked like the connection was having a bit of an issue. But other than that, it's been pretty good. Though I do notice when I'm setting up streams and I paste in most of it and I start to do the editing for the specific stream, if I do like a backspace a couple of times, it goes from where I am to the bottom of it and starts deleting my signature block, which is extremely frustrating. But other than that, not too bad. Oh, speaking of EDB, one of my campmates, turns out, is also a law tube enjoyer. And Mrs. Torrin says that when the morning when I found out, she came in and told me that I should talk to our campmate. And I looked like it was like, I don't have the energy for this morning. And then she said she wants to talk about Ian Rumpel. And apparently I perked right up like a...
like a trash panda hitting a banquet.
Something like that. I was looking for a good example there. But anyway, I got a chance to show her the Emily D. Baker's member-only stream where she opened up the braid I sent her and told her about channel membership. So I think she's probably going to wind up becoming a member on EDB's channel too. So, and she will probably actually be watching this, at least, if not tonight, somewhere down the road. So it's good to have her on. Let's see. I believe, yep, that is the one I should be moving here. But it's been fun chatting about law tube and law in general. So let's look here. And Gwen says, I appreciate Gel's restraint. And Crystal says, it's a special kind of excitement when you get to meet someone with similar interests, new friends. Yep. They've actually been camping with us for what, about 6-8 years, Sandy? Or Mrs. Torn?
I I don't know. I'd have to find out how old Gorgie is.
But
Wait a minute. Yeah. 8 years.
yep. So we have known and been friendly for a while. It's just, hey, something new and something I can actually, provide information on. So that was fun. And yes, I admit I'm lousy with privacy and handles and stuff like that. I mean, if somebody really wanted to track me down, the fact that I'm a constable in Eastern PA kind of locks it down to about 70 potential candidates. So I realize I'm long past the point where I can successfully keep myself from being identified. I'm just relying on the fact that I try and be a nice enough person that nobody really feels the need to go do so. And when you get right down to it, there's really not much you can do about it anyway. I just try not to be an a-hole, but that's kind of my philosophy in general.
We're also less than half a mile from the police station.
Yeah, we can walk to the police station about a minute and a half if we're going very slow and there's a couple of cars crossing this in the street in front of us. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. But I've actually been online since before there was the internet, and it was different bulletin boards. So I've kept a fairly low profile for most of that. But I've also been aware that pretty much everything on the internet is permanent anyway. So, all right. 1, 2, 3, 4. So anyway, I don't know exactly when I'm going to schedule them, but I'm going to try and get maybe 3 or 4 streams done before we go back home. About probably a week from today is I think when we'll probably head back home. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. So I was thinking Thursday will be our last town run day. Pack down the box on Friday, and then we can pack up and pre-pack Friday and finish it Saturday and head home Saturday. That sound good to you?
Works for me, dear.
Okay.
Give me time to scrub the grill.
Yeah. And on the very good side, I apparently am not going to need the mobility scooter, though. I almost fell down, hopping down a foot and a half from the deck of the trailer here. That was kind of unpleasant. But I didn't face plant in the mud, so it's a win. In case I didn't mention, it's been very rainy out here today. But overall, not overly rainy for the event in general. The temperatures haven't been too bad. A couple of warm days, but a couple of rainy days. But overall, it's been fairly decent. So I will admit the air conditioning has been very useful in here. I have it off so that the sound doesn't make it impossible to hear what I'm doing. And it's not too warm at the moment.
And we've only had one person in town ask us if we're Satanists. We're Satanists. It's a typo.
Yep. Alrighty. And catch up on chat, see if there's anything else. All right. Let's see. David Nelson, hey, good to see you on. Canton, Massachusetts thinks 1 mile is far for police. I will refrain from commenting on all of the failures of Canton and police and various things like that. But I will have to say that the campmate who also watched some of the Karen Reed stuff was also how can they be that way there? So Glenn says, hey, David Nelson. And David saying, hey to Glenn. All right, let's see. We've got 12 people watching here. 2 on Twitter, 10 on YouTube. Let's see. Yeah, let me go ahead and jump into Rumble, see how many people got watching there. I got the speakers off, so it's not going to screw anything up. And you guys haven't been complaining about the quality, so I figure we're doing pretty good. All right, and I will back out of there. But it looks like we got 3 people watching on Rumble, so we're doing pretty good there. And if people do chat on Rumble, it should show up in StreamYard. All right. Let's get back to this. And 1, 2, 3, 3 over 4. But yeah, and just, let's see, I've been on about 45 minutes and I've added about 1.5 inches. So this braid is going to go much faster, which is a good thing because I have a little less time. And don't lose my place. Do the second move on this side. I'll have to do some back braiding when I realize I made a mistake. The warping stand works really well, though much better when it's not windy when you're doing it. When I use the setup in the trailer here, it worked really well. My only issue was I didn't bring enough pins for the spool sewing spool stand to have enough to put all the cones on it, and I forgot 2 cones to get 12 on or 24 on each one, so they have 22 on all of these. Yep. Here. Heading out for a little bit.
Yep, I'm heading out to the other trailer.
Okay. Well, you have a wonderful evening. I'm not going to run too much longer on this, maybe about half an hour, I think, or a little less.
Okay, I should be done by then.
Okay, love you, dear.
Love you too.
And 4. Hope that didn't hurt your ears, anybody. Realize that's probably a bit abrupt for a microphone. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3. One, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3 over 4 and 3. Let's see what else has been going on. One, 2, 3 and 3 over 4. Started drawing a little bit of a blank. 2, 3, 4. But yeah, if I sit down with a good audiobook for about an hour or 2, I think I'll make some pretty decent progress on this. I also want to get around to some of the camps that I want to visit, sit there and braid while I talk to people. I don't get a chance to visit as much working this job here as I used to before I took it over 12 years or so ago. But doing this job makes Mrs. Thorne happy because before I took it over, she didn't really get along well with some of the people that were in this position. And if I work here, she doesn't want to kill whoever's working the position at least. And she's much happier and much more effective in her shop. But yeah, she would get calls when she's an eighth of a mile from the event site gate and be asked, can you go back, make another 26-mile round trip and pick up this one item? And being asked that 3 or 4 times in the course of a week just kind of was driving her up a wall. So when the position opened up, I volunteered since I've been hanging around this department for a while and kind of knew what was going on. Worked out pretty decently. People seem to like what I do. Not going to really get into too much detail other than, we shop for the event because I'm not an official spokesman for the event and cannot speak. I'm just glad I got the job I do. I enjoy it quite a bit. Mrs. Torn enjoys it quite a bit. And people don't seem to want to kick us out since we've been having the job for a while. We're not the only ones in this department. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 4, 3. I think I'm going to take a pause for just a minute, and for those that have not seen it yet, I will show the previous braid that's finished. And see, Gwen says, goodbye, Mrs. Torn. So that was the back side. That's the front side. Admittedly, it's a little bit heavy on the white and the yellow, so white balance wants to mess with it, but this is 56 or 66 inches of braid, so 5.5 feet. Plenty long for a belt, and if MLS is interested in it and this braid gets done correctly or to where I'm happy with it, it might wind up becoming his tie. Because I think with some proper end caps, it'll make a nice polo tie. But I'd have to look around, make sure that I've got a good design or way to set it up to do that. Because I don't like doing less than nice work. I'm not a perfectionist, but I do like my stuff to look at least relatively decent. Though it took me a while, I did actually learn that when you're doing art sometimes, and it's not what you envisioned, and it's frustrating, it doesn't necessarily mean it's bad, because people don't necessarily know what you were going for, so what they see is not what you see. They do not see what you consider mistakes, they just see what you did. And if what you did looks nice, that's good enough. And obviously, if you're doing like a commission piece, you want them to be happy with the piece you do. But a good part of that is also not going, hey, oh, you know, it looks wonderful. Well, except I made this mistake here and that mistake there and that mistake there. That you never would have known if you hadn't said anything. And they will enjoy the piece much more if you don't tell them that you messed up. Because you didn't necessarily mess up. You made something. Something looks nice. You should be proud for doing it. You should enjoy it, and you should let other people enjoy it. 2, 4, 3. There we go. And it's there. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Getting a little better at paying attention to things I should be paying attention to making sure I'm doing the right moves. So hopefully I won't have to fix mistakes as I go along. Yep. And left side, right side, and left side, and then it'll be time for a coma slide. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. Oh, the campmate that I mentioned who likes the law tube stuff, one of her kids likes playing Pokemon Go with his dad, but he is not quite good enough with them together to be able to finish a 5-star raid. So there was a 5-star raid going on today. I didn't realize that they were going to join in on it. They did. And I saw them there and helped them win the 5-star raid in Pokemon Go. And the kid caught their first Moltres. So I felt really good about that. I also made sure to check back with his parents when I got back to the camp and could talk to them directly to make sure that he actually caught the Moltres, which he did. Because if he hadn't, I was going to trade him a Moltres so that you at least have one from the raid. Because I have a few of them, and having a kid enjoying something that they love doing is more important than one Moltres extra that I have that I don't really need. And having played games where you're so close and it just doesn't work out for what you're trying to do that day, it kind of sucks. So if I can make somebody's day better and it makes mine no worse, I'm happy to do that. All right, yeah. A little bit. Yeah. Catch up the chat. Gwen says it looks like a little snake. Yep, I could definitely see that. I definitely see it as like a kind of like a Burmese python pattern. So now you see. Hi all. Torino is on while I crochet. It's like having a craft club in my living room. Woohoo! Glad to share the experience. A little bit more caffeine and not sugar. All right. One, two, three. And I think I've mentioned to you folks that I tend to drink Diet Mountain Dew for the caffeine. They've got a rewards things going on now where you enter in codes from caps to build up points for prizes. And it's been a little frustrating for me because they've had a couple of things I considered that I would like. And right as I get kind of close with the codes, they sell out. And I'm not thinking that they're doing anything. I think it's just I wasn't lucky enough to start early enough to catch them. Been kind of frustrating. First thing I wanted was like a wireless Xbox headset. We have a wired headset right now for the living room computer that Mrs. Torn and I use. And she doesn't like cables, so I thought that would be something nice that both of us could enjoy. And it's much easier when a cat wants to jump in your lap, not having to be careful not to move the chair to where it wants to pull the headset off your head so the cat can jump up safely. And then the next one that I was getting close to was a drone kit, which I thought would be fun. And nope, that's sold out too. And part of their program conditions, they say, is that there's no guarantee that anything is going to be restocked. They do have something about once every month where they have a vault that opens up and they've got other stuff that's temporarily available. That's my guess is it's better quality stuff. And I'm just about to the point where I've got enough points that if something decent comes up there, I'll be able to get it. But you got like they have a week window where it can open up any time during that time frame, and if they sell out, then they just go ahead and close the vault again. It's easy to miss. I think I missed the last one. I mean, it appears to have been like a theme thing for the Borderlands movie. I'm not sure if I got in or not. So, but as we get close to the next one, I'm going to set like a calendar reminder so to check it like, once every 12 hours or so, once the window opens up. So if I can get something there, at least I'll have the opportunity. And the program runs to like almost the end of the year. So I've got a few more chances. And I'm not drinking a lot of purchased Diet Mountain Dew, but when I buy the syrup bottles, I get like an extra 4 codes. And the thing I was looking at potentially getting was in the 90. I grabbed the wrong one there. Felt a little too short. So, 2. Okay, did I already do that? 3, 3. No, that looks like that's the right one. Okay, nope. I did have the right one there. I just panicked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. And I will be. Oh, I know what well, I don't know if I want to do that. I don't want to steal Valhalla and MLS's gig too much, but I think I am going to buy one of the mini Lego things again. They got another Japanese style thing that it's not a floating island. So I'm considering that. Also, when we were packing up to head out here, we had something drop in the garage and knock over my MG Castle Lego thing from the streams with Valhalla, MLS, and Windy H. I will be able to put it back together. I don't think I will have lost any pieces or anything like that. And Legos are pretty durable, so I don't think they took any damage. It's just, it was a bit frustrating. And already. And catch up with chat real quick here. And Gwen says, I see, hello. I'm catting, so it's interesting with the counting. Hope that doesn't mess you up too much, Gwen. I can not count at all. I'm doing that mostly so that I'm not like a whole bunch of dead air. And Nancy says, sorry, I'm correct. Torin is on. No worries, I'm good with Torino. Auto Carrot strikes again. And Nancy says, glad it's the same basic pattern, so I don't have to count 1 and 2 and then repeat. And Gwen says, that's good. And it's time for another coma slide. I was on the last braid, I was doing the take up reel every other coma slide. And I think with as fast as this one's going, every coma slide thing. Yep, and we're up to the top here. So we started at, I think it was about here. So we've done close to 2 inches in about an hour. So that means I got about 30 hours more to do on this braid. Though as time goes on, I will definitely be picking up speed. Mistakes I make. Given that it's getting close to the end of the day, I wouldn't be surprised if being a bit sleepy might be the cause of that. Yeah, I was not going to count, so just have to remember to chat. Like I said, this stream is not going to be too long, given I want to spend some of my evening with Mrs. Doran. But it's been good to spend time with you folks. I did miss it. I definitely enjoy streaming with people in the chat. Makes it more fun. Gives me a chance to mess that up. Let's see. Okay. Yep. Didn't mess anything up, but I was starting to pull from the wrong one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. That's what I'm supposed to do. Braids looking nice and symmetrical. 1, 2, 3. Yep, I said I wasn't going to count. This pattern is repetitive enough, and it's only 4 moves, so it's easy to let my hands do the muscle memory and not do the counting. So, should not mess me up, as long as I remember where I am. I forgot what I was saying. Otherwise, I do have to check. I don't think my new anti-sleep meds that don't mess with my migraine meds prevent me from drinking alcohol, but I'm not really a drinker anyway. And it looks like we're approaching the phase where it's done the wrong window. We're approaching the phase where people are not really doing it as much anymore. I know Nick can't, and Jeff was saying that he's not going to be doing that anymore because he doesn't enjoy the next morning. And I didn't catch all of it from his member stream, but that was the gist of it. So he's going to come up with something else for his Epic Friday streams. So I guess I'm just going to have to console myself to the fact that I won't be able to catch the Let's Go Brandon pay for drink train, which is probably a good thing because I'm pretty sure my tolerance is low in general. And I don't like feeling drunk in the first place. I just happen to develop a bit of a taste for some of the nicer bourbons and scotches, but it is strictly I like the taste, I don't like getting drunk. So 2, 3, 4, 3. I'm just going to have to make do with making a kick-ass business of making braiding equipment and being entertaining enough for the person on stream where people want to watch me. So if you folks, I think most of the people here have heard before, but my goal is I want to be able to continue to do the braiding, sharing this with people, and hopefully eventually getting to be a large enough channel that I can transition it into a retirement income. Because I live in a relatively expensive area to live in Eastern Pennsylvania. And I'd like to, not have to move or sell the house when it's time to retire because we can't afford it. And I want to keep active. I have unfortunately known of too many people who, when they retire and they stop doing things, they only last a couple of years. But the people who keep doing things, enjoying life, keeping up with their hobbies and stuff like that, tend to last longer. And I want to be one of those people because I want to be able to grow old together with Mrs. Torin and spend our lives together. And I want to keep doing that as long as I can. Because I like Mrs. Torin, and she seems to like me too. Tell her I said that. She already knows. Sorry. Just having some fun. And 1, 2, and I'm counting again. About ready to do another coma slide. If I do that, I'll check how long I've been streaming, what the time is, and we may go ahead and do the close-ups. Right. And I didn't bring it with me, but I got a nice little tool from my Reflex Red Dot site for my carry pencil. I'm figuring it worked pretty good for keeping the lenses clean on this webcam. This isn't quite in the being able to do soldering videos level of magnification, but it seems to be a pretty nice camera. I don't seem to have any glitching going on with it on my end. And the catch here. See, Gwen says, Torin, you're doing fine with the counting. I'm doing a simple pattern, short repeat. Nani C says, yes, please count. The rhythm and clacking of the Thomas is very relaxing. Okay, I'll go count. And Gwen says, it's a good thing you like your spouse. Yep. And Raymond Oasis says, I need to start figuring out how to make a CNC braided I'm assuming that you're going to have a more detailed thing popping up. If you're talking about like a Celtic knotwork, or are you talking about how to make like a CNC braiding machine? Makiko Tada has a couple of videos on YouTube where she came up with a modular braiding machine for braiding carbon fibers. Let's see, been going about an hour and 10 minutes, so it's about 9:24. I'll do a couple more and then I'll go ahead and wrap it up for the day. Where she can make structural shapes like squares, flats, L's, H's, O's. It was, I think, about 15 years ago when Mrs. Torn and I went to a talk she was doing at the Japan House in New York City, which was a really fun experience. We got to see the video there. The YouTube one is fairly low resolution. I think the one they showed at the talk was definitely higher resolution than that. So maybe they'll re-upload it eventually. But when we went there, I was running a Yahoo group email list for Kumihimo that Makiko Tada was on, and so she knew who I was. And Mrs. Tor and I got there. We went through the thing, and then they broke out the discs for people to do their own braiding. And Mrs. Torn and I were able to, we got drafted to instruct people because she knew that we would know how to do it. And that was very nice. And that's part of the reason why Mrs. Torn considers Makiko to be a very nice person, especially in relationship to Rodrick Owen, who I probably shouldn't use the word she would use for that on here. It hasn't been 2 hours yet, but let's just say she does not like him. And I've heard kind of a story in the past where basically she'd set up my Taka-Dai before we headed out to the class. We got there and she was finishing setting up hers. And he went through and told her she was doing it all wrong. And he pointed out my Taka-Dai, which was the only other Taka-Dai there, and said, that's the right way to set it up. And she'd set them up both. And I was very impressed that she did not take him out right then and there, because I think she was about to. She does not like him. That was not a fun experience for her. The Makiko Tada thing was after, so that was definitely a nice counterpoint. And so, anyway, under 3, over 4, and under the last one. Yes, that's right. Under, over, under the third, fourth, under 3, and top one passes through the shed to the top on the other side. Oh, and I finally started reading or audiobooking a Brandon Sanderson book, started the series, Atlantis. 2, 3, 3, 4. We'll see how it goes. It's like 28 hours, so it lasts me a decent amount of time. Sorry, over 4, over 3. I think when I get to the next coma slide, I will go ahead and wrap it up. I want to thank everybody for stopping in. It's been a wonderful experience. Braid's going nicely. I haven't screwed it up where I've had to back braid more than about half a move. It's handling very nicely. Silk feels really nice on my hands. It's much larger fibers than I usually do for silk, so the change in hand feel is nice. And that one passes on through to the top on that side. And 1, 2, 3, 3, over 4. Bottom one passes through to the bottom on the other side. 1, 2, 3, over 4, and 3. tape measure here. It's not in easy reach, but I would say, actually, I may have a, I'm not seeing the ruler either. Anyway, I'd say we've got at least 4 inches of braid in about a little over an hour. So that's a good sign. So that's about an inch. So 1, 2, about 3.5 inches or so. I think we're doing pretty good there. And Braider, yep, okay, that makes sense. And Harlan Rumi says, good night, everyone. Thanks for the stream. It's good to have you on. Thank you, thank you. And let's see, I'm up to 12, 4 on Twitter, 8 on YouTube. Gwen says, great progress tonight. Thank you very much. Like I said, I will probably have a stream tomorrow. Might be an afternoon, might be an evening one. If tomorrow is relatively slow, I'll probably do an afternoon stream, but I am going to braid throughout the day. But, oh, yes, I did want to, before we left, to show you a up-close one here. So let's see if I can do this without causing motion sickness or major damage. Tripod booster is all the way down. So that's a good one there. All right, let's bring it in. Out of focus like a really bad 70s TV show flashback. And we will come back into focus here. I do have to say, this is a really nice up-close focus. So as you can see, it's green on the left, black on the right. And we have the cross in the blended ones there. Then it's black on the left, green on the right. And then we reverse colors for the blended there. So, and we have a nice distinct yellow border going around. Bottom one here. Let's see. Yeah, that yellow's kind of going there. But I don't think I could have done that any better. No, I guess we'll just deal with that. Not if we wanted a white border here. And kind of the same thing there. So, not horrible. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Gwen says, looks awesome. Thank you very much. All right. And I'm assuming nobody's had any issues with the streaming quality as far as problems with it going bad. I'm not getting any low bandwidth warnings from StreamYard, so we're doing pretty good there. And all righty, I can't think of anything else I need to discuss, so we will go ahead and head out. And as always, everybody, stay safe and happy braiding.